What's on, where and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. Talk Nelson Radio. The Mako Rugby Roundup.
Welcome to episode 13 of the Mako Rugby Roundup, and welcome back to my co-hosts, Les Edwards and Sean Davis.
Thanks, Chris.
Good
to see you again, my friend.
And our very special guest, it's actually a welcome back to Nick Worthington, who's the Commercial and Marketing Manager at the Tasman Rugby Union. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Nick, and actually in person this time. I think it was on the phone last time.
So. It was, pilot episode on the phone. So.
But it was too, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2022 pilot episode.
Yeah.
How's this? Well, we've advanced slightly.
Yeah.
We have a table and we've got our own gear and we haven't quite got multi-cameras yet, but we're working on it. And on this week's show, we're going to be talking about First 15 Rugby, the Stuff Tasman Trophy Final. And we'll talk about why the lads are wearing green in a moment, the Rugby Championship, and we catch up with Nick as we head into the 2023 NPC season. Our venue sponsor is O'Sheddigans on Bridge Street. It's time for the Shed Chat. And Sean, how's the week been, mate?
Not too bad, mate. It's a little bit cold out for everyone. It's a bit chilly, but no, we had a good run last night with the State of Origin, of course. That all wrapped up last night. And
win to the Blues.
The Blues got there when it didn't really matter, so that's all right. But looking forward to this weekend. Obviously, a lot of action, and All Blacks back at that key time slot of 7 o'clock. Perfect. Yeah, good
stuff. And before we go any further, we have to mention the wardrobe. Very patriotic today, lads.
Yes, thank you.
But I managed to catch a video on social media, and man, I couldn't tell who was who. Very muddy pitch, and but the wind going your way.
Yeah, Maris Brown beating Kaharangi Brown. Hashtag Brown Machine.
Yeah.
No, it was unbelievably poor conditions out at Sports Park Motueka after 20 minutes into the game. But we'll talk about that shortly.
Okay, let's get into it. First 15 Rugby and how things looking on that front, Les?
Yeah, so the boys have had school holidays, so they get back into it this weekend with a Waimea combined heading off to Cashmere combined, Marlborough Boys College heading off to Timaru Boys High, and Nelson College having one more week off.
Rightio. Okay, good stuff. Good luck to the teams. Hopefully the weather's not too bad. Senior Club Rugby, and here it is, the Stuff Tasman Trophy Final. And all you gentlemen have been involved, whether it being supporters or playing, in fact, Nick. So before we talk about the final, let's talk about the semis. And Nick, you were playing for the men in red, going over the hill to take on Central. So how was that?
Yeah, look, it was a great game. I think, going over to Lansdowne's never an easy task for a Nelson side. That hour and a half, 2 hour travel on a bus and all the rest of it. But look, credit to Central. They did a great job. They knew how to play at their own field and, just put pressure on us, especially at set piece. We weren't able to launch, much like our Maris game a few weeks ago. So, hey, look, it is what it is. It's footy at the end of the day. And, you sometimes win them, sometimes you don't. So, looking forward to what should be a cracking game this weekend.
So, good crowd over there?
Yeah, it was. Poor conditions, but a really good crowd. The East Stand was mostly full, which is, obviously usually a pretty good sign for a club game, and a few scattered in the West with a couple of tins. I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
Of course you can. Did your Stoke supporters get over there?
Yeah, a few did. Obviously, it's always tough to, travel over the hill with some supporters, but we got a good base, and it was great to see them over there and, thank them for their support during the season.
So what was the pitch like? Was it
outstanding?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was obviously wet. There'd been a bit of rain and stuff, obviously before and during the game, but no, fantastic. Can't fault Lansdowne Park.
But Stoke boys must be fairly happy with the season. I'm obviously disappointed not to make the final. I don't know what the goal was for this year, but certainly had a good run and was starting to peak at the right time.
Yeah. I think it's a great building block that we've set for future years. It's a young side. I think that choker tag's been around for a while for Stoke with top sides and then not making the semis. So to make the semis was great. I think it's the first time in 4 or 5 years that the club might have done that. So at the Prem grade. So fantastic season for the lads, and hopefully, just continue building from there.
Watch out.
Yeah.
And here we go against all odds. No one was picking you.
Exactly.
No, and you were very humble last week, lads. But
Sean was good. He went in a landslide.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. You were going to win in a landslide. Yeah. It was exactly a landslide. It looked like a landslide.
The pitch is difficult. I managed to flick between both live streams of the two games, and Lansdowne Park looked amazing to be running on compared to that mock pitch. But what a game! I mean, it was surprisingly a decent game of rugby for the conditions that were, the mud and everything around, and to get that early lead and then just hang in there for the last sort of 20 minutes and defend, and we got it done. But against all odds, we got one more to go this week, though.
Yeah. I'd say that Marist start was very, very good. I mean, you're going to get the best of the conditions on a field like Sports Park Motueka early, and 15-0 up after about 15 minutes was the start that was needed. Maybe a little bit of playing to the scoreboard thereafter, but held on. In the second half, however, it was a bog at one end of the field, and Marist were defending and just couldn't kick the ball out of there. It was that hard to play out of the mud. But the work by the entire forward pack to stay on for all but 2 minutes of the game. One replacement in the final 2 minutes amongst the forward pack just goes to show where Marist is strong. And played accordingly. So it was against the odds. Got thrashed the weekend before, but very, very proud of the turnaround.
Yeah. Okay, so on we go to Lansdowne Park against the mighty Central. So, Nick, what are your thoughts about this match? You've played them both, so what do you think?
Look, I think both teams are pretty solid in the pack. Marist is obviously very strong in the forward pack, and that's where we were dominated last week by Central as well. So I think it'll be a great contest. I think Central at home just puts them slightly over the edge, but I think it'll be a great game regardless, and two very even sides right at the top of the table. So,
all right, we're not going to ask you to pick it, but what are your thoughts on preparing for the final?
I think, we'll happily reclaim that underdog tag again, mate.
They're taking the humble approach again. They did that last week.
Hey, look, we shouldn't win. We shouldn't get it done. But look, we got a 50-odd seater bus. We're going to try to fill it, and we're going to be there regardless. So it's we'll be ready, and I think it should be a really good game. And by the looks of the pitch, the boys are going to have a probably first time in a few weeks actually to run around in something that's not completely muddy and tough conditions like that. So it'll be an awesome day out. Pretty pumped for it.
I think Nick's assessment's accurate. The two forward packs will probably end up being close to even. It'll come down to who takes advantage of the pill they've got at the right times and playing at the right ends of the park. So the last time they played, there were 2 points in it. Marist lost to Central 24-22, but a misconversion didn't nail the draw. So, these two teams are really evenly matched. Home ground advantage means a lot. So Central will take some, comfort in that.
Yeah. All right. And to even things up, shout out to Quentin and up the Blues. Good luck to your Warriors.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
Like it, Chris.
I see.
Well, there's no representation here, is there? So someone's got to stick up for them. All right. Good luck to both teams, and it's going to be a great final, that's for sure. It's been a great season so far. The Rugby Championship, and boy, what a weekend this is going to be. And it was great to see international rugby back. So before we go into our tips, what were your thoughts? New Zealand versus Argentina.
Boys, I thought that was a good game. Stern contest. Yes, we kind of ran away with it, but look, I think once the game got into mode and the Argies kind of found themselves, it was that contest that we've been kind of used to over the last 2, 3, 4 seasons from the Argentinians. So a lot of passion there, and I think credit to the AB side. They came together, and for the first game of the season, we probably pretty impressed with how they were.
Actually played all right. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Les?
Yeah, one of the big question marks was around the number 6 spot, and I thought Shannon Frizzell had an excellent game. certainly his line out, the third jumper role, he took that on very, very well. Damian McKenzie was awesome at first five. Bodie had a better game than we've seen from him in Super Rugby. It was a good performance. It really was. And but gosh, it'll be tougher against South Africa, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. A bit different run, won't it? I agree. The Argentina were probably a little bit overwhelmed. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I kind of had the feeling. I tipped it, just saying, that would kick away and win that one quite comfortably. This week, probably a different story.
Yeah, how did your tip go, Chris?
Yeah, I was just
that's right, the Argies. Right, and that would be rubbish. First came out, but actually that was the thing, wasn't it? We actually looked pretty sharp, and that's unusual for an All Black team at this time of the year.
Early points, eh?
Yeah, and I was very impressed with Damian McKenzie. And yeah, to be fair, although the game was kind of shut out by then, the Argies actually did have a better second half. Richie came on and, I guess it's just seeing the game out, but didn't do anything, particularly fancy or anything. But, what could he really do at that part of the game? So the big question mark for me is this weekend with South Africa. So South Africa, comprehensive win against Australia. People saying that Australia played crap, but I don't know whether that was true or not. Eddie got a bit upset when they said, well, what was it like losing by that score to the B side? He wasn't very happy with that. So, and then, now they're talking that the part of the squad's over here in New Zealand preparing for the All Black game. Boy, so if that wasn't their strong side, man, we're going to be up for a tough match. So what are your thoughts about this weekend?
Oh, I think, South Africa always bring a strong game to an All Black test. I think it'll be the same. They don't really change the formula, I think that side's been pretty consistent over a number of years now. And, if they roll on what would be the A side, I think it'll be a pretty similar contest to what we usually see, physical, tough, set piece, and if we can bring our game and play the way, the attacking football that we can play and put points on the board, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, you never know. I guess when it's a South Africa test away from Eden Park.
Away from Eden Park, that's right, Mount Smart. So, I don't know. Have we had a record there? We've played there before, presumably. I don't know. But,
I don't know.
So you're picking the ABs?
Yeah, home of the Mighty Warriors. We'll go the ABs.
Yeah. The Wires are going right at the moment. All right, Les. So, what's your thoughts on the game?
Well, I have seen the South African side, and it's awesome. And they've named a 5-man forwards bench or 6-man forwards bench.
Wow.
Only 2 backs reserves. So we know where they're going to play this game. So it all comes down to how the All Blacks front up. My biggest concern are the backup props. I just think that we didn't get a lot out of Tuangafasi and Laulala last week. So they need to lift their A game because it'll come down to the benches at the end of in the last 20, and that's where New Zealand will have to really knuckle down. But we do have great flair and ability in the back line. So New Zealand 12 and under.
Yeah, agree with that. It's just about trying to win that set piece or at least control our set piece to unleash our back line where we probably have the advantage, I feel.
Okay. Not aware that they've, at the time of this recording, have selected the side yet. What are we thinking? Who's going to take the number 10?
I think Richie's back in.
Really?
Yeah, I think he has to be to get started. I think we just switch McKenzie to the bench, bring the impact in the second half with him.
Les?
On form, you probably wouldn't, but you'd have to trust Richie, right? Damien had a marvellous game against Argentina, but it's different opposition. And Richie's second to none at controlling field position and getting, his forwards going forward. So, that would be a change. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they bring back Whitelock and Retallick if they are available, because that changes things up a little bit in the forwards, doesn't it? Where do they put Scott Barrett? So
Yeah, because normally Scott Barrett as a bit of an impact player, especially against physical sides. But, Frizzell's been doing fantastic. He's been quite physical. So that's going to be interesting. And then, of course, we've got the fullback and the wings. So is there going to be a change there, Nick?
Yeah, I think for this test, you have to bring in, if we can, bring in the likes of Will Jordan and Leicester. Whether they're healthy or not, it's a different question. And then, is it the case of you put them on the wings and you put D-Mac, if you're going to run Richie at 10, put D-Mac at 15, or, I guess there's a few things to toss up there, or do you put Will out the back and, a Mark Talia or Sean Stevenson on the right? I think the time's right for Sean Stevenson to get a crack, but whether it's this weekend or against the Australians, but yeah, I think he's played well enough to deserve a crack.
Tough match if you're having your debut for the season, isn't
it? I think Talia's got to get a run. I think he was probably the form winger and one of the form wingers, but I think he needs to be in the team this week as well. So I think Stevenson we might save him for the Aussies when we run our B squad.
And hopefully say to Eddie, how does it feel to
lose to two B squads?
It's going to be interesting. Because Argentina are going to be wanting to bounce back, and so will Aussie. So that's going to be a big match too.
Yeah.
And Eddie will be fired up. That's for sure.
Interesting to see if Quade Cooper gets another crack.
Oh, yeah. I would think not.
I can't see why he'd still be in there. But,
the fellow Carter Gordon, who came on as a replacement, looks like Steve Larkham to me.
Yeah.
Tall, lanky, and languid runner, but a clever rugby player.
Yeah, very. And he's only 22 or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a
young guy. Jeez, I'll tell you what, though, just before we move on, that crowd in Mendoza, take more games there. That was unreal.
Yeah. The bloke didn't keep him off the pitch either.
No, it's it's a bit like going to play in South Africa, isn't it? Everything's and that's why I was very impressed with the way that the All Blacks controlled that game. I think they took their foot off a little bit towards the end. It wasn't quite a runaway. It was more like a great start, which is something that we've been struggling with the last couple of seasons. So there you go. Going to be a fantastic weekend of rugby all around. You're with the...
Sorry, mate. Yes, do you think who wins that Australia-Argentina game? You think Argentina come right? You can.
Where's it being played? It's
Sydney.
Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Australia will bounce back. I think. I don't know what went on there, but I think they're a much better side than
they were. They would have been disappointed.
I think so. Yeah.
Come on, Sean.
Look, I think. I'm gonna give Argentina a crack at this one. Just to mix it up. I think it should be close, but pretty underwhelmed with Australia's effort, to be fair.
I'm with my Maris brother.
Yeah.
I think Argentina will win this. It won't be a runaway or anything, but I think they can win this by 12 and under.
We'll split it 2-2.
All right. There you go. Well done.
I'll put the Wallabies in Sydney.
You're with the Mako Rugby Roundup, and it's our great pleasure to welcome to the show Nick Worthington. And Nick is the commercial and marketing manager to the Tasman Rugby Union and the Tasman Mako, and also a Division 1 outside back for the Stoke Rugby Club. There you go. Hey, mate,
we got there.
What was your take on the game last Saturday, and how do you think
Stoke
went overall this season?
Yeah, we touched on the game earlier, and I think just Central played a fantastic game. But jumping into the season, absolutely loved it. I've thanked a number of people at the Stoke Rugby Club, and obviously ended up there a little by chance. Just got the early call up to play some sevens just before Les tapped me on the shoulder to play sevens for Marist late last year, and so just committed there and went along and played and enjoyed the great the team and stuff like that, and then just followed on, and can't thank those guys enough for being a welcoming bunch of guys.
Who do you think were some of the team standout players this year?
Oh, name two guys. One, Tavita Kolomatangi, obviously a bit of an older head in the grade, but still a fantastic footy player. And then captain, young guy, Tane Robinson, obviously a Mako. But that guy, when he plays club footy, it's a different level that you're watching, and you can tell that he's of that caliber that could go far.
So you've now played in the Tasman Trophy. So how does that compare to other competitions you've played in?
It's Mate, I really rate the Tasman Trophy. It's a fantastic competition. I think the skill level is right up there with anywhere in the country with what I've seen and what I've played in. The pace of the game is unbelievably quick. And I think that kind of comes to, the closeness that we have with the high performance stuff through the Mako, and the Division 1 competition. I couldn't fault it. I think it's one of the top comps in the country. Look, the physicality is probably a little lower than somewhere, say, like Auckland. But I think pace, skill, and fitness wise, you'd run all over them if you could, play the right game up there. So, this is a fantastic competition and makes complete sense as why the union's so strong, in higher grades.
No, it's good to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
And a great bunch of supporters out there, of course.
Yeah.
Nick, a great club, well led at the top by Patrick Powers and his committee, and
Yep.
Chris Little does an amazing job as the the club manager. So yeah, it's an excellent club, and the foundation is set. But your season's over.
It is. Unlike yours.
Yeah.
And now you're obviously really settling into your day job. So you've been working on sponsorship and membership and all sorts of revenue ideas for the last 6 months. So what's the buzz like out there amongst our sponsors to get engaged again with the Mako in 2023?
It's right up, Les. It's right up. I think, coming off the back of last season the boys admit it wasn't a great performance. Obviously, we had a few injuries and stuff like that, but everybody's seeing the team list, hearing about who's coming back. There's a fantastic vibe going around town. I think there's a great feeling in camp, outside of camp. And I think it could be a special season, and everybody's jumping to be back on board, which is fantastic for me, obviously.
Yeah.
No, it's important that they're a good indicator of the love of the Mako. We know the community love the Mako, but as long as the sponsors do also, that augurs well,
Always
doesn't
helps.
it?
Always helps.
Yeah, and then your Mako 500 club members, they're all coming back into the fold.
Going strong. Obviously, it's a great small business initiative that you set up
Years
in
ago.
your time. The 24 tickets to the games, spread across them, however you'd kind of like to, and hospitality packages and stuff like that. So it's a fantastic initiative for small businesses to get behind, and obviously, either take clients, take staff, etc. So there's plenty of uptake again in this year, and it's an important part for us. They play a big part to how we operate, and the support base that we have. So very thankful for that.
Yeah, from memory, collectively, the members are like the third largest sponsor of the union, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Of the team.
Yep.
So wonderful. So any businesses out there who want to get on board, get in touch with Nick, 500 plus, and be a part of the family. Season tickets, any uptake yet?
Season tickets.
Some draws out.
Yeah, draws out. We launched season tickets a couple of weeks ago, and there's been a great uptake actually. Whether that's because people are just fizzing at the bit to get around the games, or we've made a couple of additions. So you can go to an away game in one of our packages. You can get a signed poster and training shirt, stuff like that. So just trying to
add value.
Add value. Yeah, exactly. And so definitely some pick up there, which is fantastic to see.
Oh, good work in that regard.
Yeah.
Next Friday, mate, pre-season game in Blenheim versus Manawatu.
Yep.
How's the team looking for that? A few club lads jumping in.
Yeah, team's looking sharp from what I hear. I know the team hasn't been formally announced yet, but definitely a few club lads in there. I think all vying for a couple of development contracts that are still on the line, which is exciting to see that we're having such a strong, I guess, local kind of talent pool pushing for higher honours. It should be a fantastic game. I think a couple of guys coming back from Super as well to get some game time. So big names, some local names, mix and match, and should be a good contest against Manawatu.
Yeah, what time's that game?
4:30 p.m. over there next Friday, and hospitality packages are available. So $50 for a food and beverage package during the game. Feel free to.
It's pretty reasonable, isn't it?
Yeah, anybody reads good watching, feel free to reach out and buy up.
Get along. Following that game, when do you think the Mako squad will be announced?
So Mako squad gets announced in a couple of weeks' time. Once that game's come and gone, and I guess a few final contracts have been decided upon. But yeah, no, looking like a fantastic squad. Obviously, everybody can kind of announce, who the big names are.
Yeah, you just announced another preseason against Canterbury following Friday in Hanmer Springs. So will the team be named before that, or is it after that?
Yeah, no, it will be named before that. And some pretty big names coming back for that Canterbury game, I think.
Very good.
Yep. I think everybody could probably name who's going there. So yeah, no,
we always like inside scoops, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in this building, right?
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's talk about the Farah Palmer Cup, because the women kick off the Saturday after this, which is July 22nd, 2:05 at Trafalgar Park against Otago. So what will be happening to make this game special for those coming along?
Well, firstly, obviously, the women are playing their first opening game. They're a strong side. There's some fresh faces in there, but, Mel Bosman, head coach, has got that side absolutely humming. They had a fantastic preseason game last week against Otago and Southland.
Well, how'd they go?
Yeah, no, went really well. Ended up, I think, putting a bit of a score on Southland, but I think they even beat Otago from memory, which is pretty big given that Otago's kind of been that benchmark against them for a number of years now. So very exciting. And then, I guess in terms of outside the game, hopefully it's a wonderful sunny Nelson day. Yeah. And if that's the case, a few food stalls and stuff like that for people to enjoy whilst the game goes on. But yeah, obviously the prime attractions, the ladies playing Otago in what should be a pretty big game and possibly a season definer for them.
So how's the feeling in the camp, and what do you think about Mel Bosman's goals for the season?
Feeling in the camp is fantastic. I was we had our photo shoot on Saturday. They had their preseason camp, I guess, over the weekend, and the vibe was fantastic. It was high. Everybody's amping for what they've got going on, and as I say, I think Mel's got that team rolling nicely. I think for her goal is always just to continue promoting our players into that next level. So hopefully we can see a few of the ladies making that step up into that super level, which would be fantastic. We're yet to have any there, but if we could get some in the Matatu, that would be outstanding, and obviously a real credit to the coaching group.
And so what does the remainder of the home game schedule look like?
So they've got North Harbour in Nelson couple of weeks later, and then they finish with Northland over in Blenheim. So hopefully two strong games at home. We only had 2 last year. We've got 3 this year. Hopefully the ladies can go strong throughout the season, not only at home and book themselves another home semi-final.
Great, good stuff.
Yeah
mate, the lads obviously kick off early August as well, August 4 against Otago. 5:30 kickoff, so I'd imagine you're hoping for a bit of a late evening crowd.
Yeah. Hopefully a few come from here. Stumble down the road. No,
find our way.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're looking good for a good walk up crowd. Obviously, that Friday afternoon, it's a great opportunity for workplaces to take clients or take just the work
and shut and get
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've got some big plans. Again, food stalls and stuff like that. Hopefully, and we're looking to bring a musical artist in beforehand. It's the first game of the NPC, full stop. Okay, so we've got some great support from the Nelson City Council and NRDA for that. Just finalising what that looks like and start to promote that. Yeah,
get off work early.
Bruce Springsteen.
Jeez, are you dyeing your hair black, Chris? Are you going to bring the S3 band out behind you?
I don't know about the singing. That's the
you could look like it.
We'll just press play on Spotify and away you go.
Away we go.
We'll put you on stage. But no, it should be a cracking game, and obviously a game that I know the lads are looking forward to and really want to kick off well. So.
For sure. One last plug for that. How do you get tickets, mate?
Tickets online at Mako.nz. You can currently buy your membership tickets, and single game tickets go on sale next week. Get along and get amongst it. It should be a great occasion.
Wednesday, August 23rd. It shapes up to be a must watch, this one, because it's a potential Ramphilly Shield challenge against Wellington, and that's so long as the Lions get past Southland the Saturday prior. So this would be our 4th challenge in 13 seasons. So, any plans on how to get the fans along to that game?
Fans can get in touch with me for tickets. Unfortunately, due to the time frame of the game, we can't charter planes. We tried to do that, but the airport's closed by the time we get back.
Oh no!
So no commercial planes can come in unless everyone wants to stay over.
Yeah, right.
Which it could be a good occasion to stay over. But unfortunately, we tried to get Origin Air similar to what happened in Hawke's Bay. Yeah, but Nelson Airport shuts its doors. So
oh dear, nowhere to land.
Yeah. By the time we come back.
That point about the fourth challenge in 13 seasons is an interesting one because they have been few and far between. The first one was 2008 when we did play Wellington. Went down narrowly due to some appalling decisions made, but I'm biased. And then, of course, Taranaki in 2012. That was an awesome game, 39-30. Took a plane load there.
Yep.
And then last year, was it, or the year before, we went to Hawke's Bay?
Yeah.
And 3 Origin planes, shockers, went to that. Disappointment in that outcome. So that was 3 losses and 3 challenges. But beat them in the semi-final, which is more important.
Yep.
And then this one is a Wednesday night, quite challenging, isn't it? Because we played on Saturday.
Yeah, right in the middle of a storm week for both teams. Which is it a blessing in disguise? I don't know. Yeah, both teams will have played on the Saturday, and look, if we've gone well, I know that we've got a good schedule. I think we play Northland beforehand, not knocking Northland, but obviously they had a fantastic season last year. Who knows how they'll go this year? But yeah, could be a chance to, I guess, have guys pretty fresh for the Wellington game. So yeah,
and if successful, 4 days later you take on North Harbour.
Yep.
And so that's pretty hectic for the players for a start. So as far as in terms of marketing and capitalising the challenge for the first time, geez, that would be a big occasion, wouldn't it?
It'd be massive. I was fortunate enough to be in Counties when Counties won it for the first time, and town just went nuts. And I assume that this place will do the same. So it'll be a massive occasion. We've got some plans in place at the moment for
eventualities
for when it comes. But yeah, luckily the shortest tenure is 3 days, so we don't have to worry about that. But no, it's obviously easier to market it when you've got it. So focus will definitely be on the lads to, play the next game and defend against North Harbour. But there's some pretty special.
So that's interesting for you guys in planning, a season, because it all depends on results.
Yeah,
and so you kind of have to have plan A, plan B, plan C sometimes.
Yeah. Plenty of plans going on, especially around that game at the moment. What happens if we win? If we don't, obviously it's all systems as usual, but it's more if we win and how that looks and what goes on there. So some pretty special stuff. Hopefully presented that Thursday on to Nelson, and then during the weekend to Blenheim.
Yeah, right. Exciting.
All before Sunday kickoff at 2:05 or
but first of all, Wellington have to get past Southland.
Yeah,
they do. So there are a lot of permutations, but it would be fabulous to have have a challenge, B, win it, and C, have a defence.
Yeah,
be fantastic for you in terms of getting all of those ducks in a row.
Big week. Tickets sold.
I think you'd have people buying tickets in there. Hundreds.
Yeah. Oh well, I can't ever remember in my lifetime a home Shield challenge. So so that'd be fantastic for the region. Hey, thanks very much, Nick, for coming in, mate. Again,
thank you.
And we really wish you all the best of luck for the season. It's very exciting and great for you to be able to play the Stuffed Tasman Trophy and get an insight into local rugby, because I'm sure that gives you a much better understanding of what's happening in the region and the opportunities.
Yeah, no, it does indeed, and it's been great season with the Stoke lads, and it has. It's really opened some eyes and opened some conversations. So it's been fantastic from a work point of view as well.
Well, really appreciate you coming in, mate. Thanks very much.
No, thanks for having me, lads.
And not much for you guys on the weekend then?
It might be a quiet one. No, look, really, this weekend is one of those weekends that come along every now and then.
Yes.
And a little bit of organisation beforehand, and the day should flow smoothly. And no doubt we'll come back and celebrate regardless. But we'll
that's the key, isn't it? You have to do that. It's been a long season. Everyone wants to win. It's how you deal with the final result and the respect you show to the opposition and the supporters, and celebrate what has been, I think, a pretty decent stuffed Tasman trophy. No doubt about that.
So what time's kickoff?
The kickoff will be 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. The team bus is going to leave at 10:30. The supporters bus will leave at 11:30. Go and have a good time. And of course, at Central, they've got all of the time in the world to get ready.
Yeah, that's right. So what happens after the game? Do you guys we go back over the hill? Back?
We'll make our appearance into supporters we'll all make a proper effort to get into Central and have a beer with them and then on the bus and be back into town here before 7 o'clock kickoff.
Or that kickoff game.
The whole idea is to get them back and into O'Shedigan's.
Yes, that's right.
The players' bus might be a little bit later.
A couple of stops at the Woodburn and
and then into the night, into the small hours at O'Shedigan's on Bread Street.
Exactly. And with the Friday off for a lot of people as well, the energy's up. So I think Saturday's going to be a big one for sure. Yeah.
Good luck to both teams.
Yeah,
of course.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Central crew. Thank you very much, Nick. And that's it for another episode. We really appreciate your time with us, and we will speak to you again next week.
The Mako Rugby Roundup. What's on, where, and when? It's the Talk of Nelson. Talk Nelson Radio.